Hey, this is Steve in Dallas, Texas. It's Friday morning, my friends, and you are listening to Light Talk.
Hey, this is Brackley in Las Vegas, Nevada, and today we discuss what to do at LDI, foreign disasters, professors of practice, and fun things to do in Vegas.
Fun things to do? What is that, Brackley?
Party at Brackley's house.
Okay, and this is David coming to you from the beautiful Belmont Shore neighborhood of Long Beach, California. And if you don't already know, you are listening to Light Talk, and we are the Lumen Brothers. Welcome, everyone, to episode 348. And today we have Steve, Brackley, and me. And boy, guess what? This episode is being released today, which is actually on Friday, the 1st of November. We are in Vegas at LDI, and we are so excited about doing our show on Sunday.
We're all in Brackley's pool right now. It's nice and warm.
Well, it better be heated, that's for sure. It's a little chilly here now.
Oh.
The weather for LDI looks like it's going to be sunny and 60-ish, and but the evenings are going down to the 30s.
Well, that sucks, because that's the time when we go out and have fun in the evening.
We just shift to Brackley's hot tub.
So bring a coat.
Okay, party at Brackley's. So you guys ready for Sunday? I mean, that's a big show.
I've been waiting all year.
And this year, LDI is in the West Hall, which is in the newer wing of the convention center. So the room should be very nice.
Oh, so that means Stan's not going to have his fancy American Express lounge to hang out in?
They may have a lounge in the new hall, too. But that's the hall that connects with the Tesla underground subway.
Oh, the Tesla subway. That's right. Yeah, we did that last year. Well, anyway, let's get started. Steve has the first question of the day.
Becky from Detroit writes, what will you be looking for at LDI? Oh, man, I'm going to stop at every booth. I'm going to see what everyone has to offer. But to be honest with you, what I'm looking for are my friends. I can't wait to see people I haven't seen in a year and just pick their brains about the state of the industry right now. What about you guys? What are you looking for at LDI?
Well, I'm the same thing. I just like meeting the people again and looking at some of the new objects that are on the floor and around and just having a good time.
The first thing I'm going to look for is the Circle Bar, because I need a drink. Find a nice stiff drink and then walk around LDI and see what happens.
I know when it closes. Is there an opening? Is it like open at 8 a.m. breakfast at the Circle Bar?
I don't know. But all I know is that when I go to LDI, I'm checking out new technology. That's my thing. I want to see what is new, what is happening. I kind of get bored looking at exhibitors. I really do. I go see my friends, because we all have friends who work for a lot of these companies, and we say hi to them, and it's great. And they usually show us, hey, this is our new light, or this is blah, 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 blah. But I want to see something exciting, damn it. I mean, this is the year of the sphere. And since we're in the year of the sphere, and they made such a huge thing about this, which is pretty impressive, by the way. Are you guys going to go see the sphere?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go see the sphere. Yeah, it just looks fantastic.
Well, I live here, so I will see it someday. I don't know if I'm going to go this weekend or not.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll see it someday. But since it's the year of the sphere, we need to see some really good technology on the show floor. So my expectations are very, very, very high this year. And then we can have people on the show to talk about the stuff, and we'll see, hey, it'd be kind of cool to use this on a show or this show, or whatever. So we shall see. That's what I kind of look for at LDI.
If you were laying bets right now, if you two were laying bets, who is going to have the best product demo light show?
Well, that used to be an easy question, because it was always like Clay Packey.
Roby was always pretty good.
I think Roby has a good booth.
Yeah, it has changed. That's what I'm saying. In the past, it was Clay Packey, but now it could be anyone. Or you used to be Martin. Remember, Martin used to have this big thing. Now they're like a tiny little booth shack, right? It's like, I mean, Martin used to have a gigantic booth. It was huge. I mean, it was bigger than any other booths. And they used to have a good show, but I haven't seen much out of them lately. Veralite's always like, okay, yeah, but when are we going to see a show? They rarely do a show.
ATC High End.
ETC High End. I don't, the days of those shows are over, I think, of the big shows. And we'll see if Clay Packey has something this year. I used to love seeing those shows. I used to really dig it. Oh, what's really good is GLP. Always had the great shows as well. I mean, they were over the past 10 years, but even they have cut back a bit. I remember I went to see a GLP show with Stan, and all Stan did the entire time was complain how loud it was. Right.
What?
And it was a great show, but they gave us earplugs, right? And then there was a problem with the strobe lights. The strobes were affecting him. I think it was sending him into an epileptic seizure or something like that. but the GLP show was really awesome, and I really like their technology. So I'm going to put my money this year on GLP. What do you guys think? Pick a manufacturer.
I think Roby will have a nice one. He had a good one last year.
Okay. I think Brackley's right. I'm going to have to go with Roby.
Ooh, okay. Roby and GLP. And watch Clay Packey.
We'll meet everybody. We'll meet everybody at the booth, and we'll have a runoff.
Okay, I have a question. Have you guys been invited to the big Martin party?
What? There's a big party?
What? Oh, I was invited to a Roby party. No, Roby party, but it's not a party. It's just a breakfast.
Right. Well, forget I said anything about that.
Are they going to have pancakes?
They're going to have pancakes? Yes.
That's a breakfast.
They're going to have pancakes?
Who has a party at breakfast?
Everybody's asleep in Vegas at that time.
Well,
no one's having breakfast.
It's from 11 to 12, so it's a late breakfast. It's brunch.
A brunch.
Yeah, okay. That sounds boring to me. All right. Anyway, so
mimosas might happen.
I'll tell you what happens at the Martin party. Snoot and I are going.
Okay.
We weren't there. Not yet. It's still early.
It is early. Yes, it is. It's like tomorrow. We shall see how it goes.
Bring your coat. It's going to be chilly Saturday night.
All right, Brackley, you've got the next question.
Okay, Mandy from Delaware wants to know, what will make my portfolio stand out at your review session?
Oh, I know the answer to that.
A $20 bill?
Yes, food.
That's more food. Well, we have a good session, and the sessions are filling up fast. So I know it's late, but if you still want to come or still want to do the session, there are a few slots still available for our 12 wonderful reviewers that we're going to be having. So it should be a fun afternoon. What makes your portfolio stand out? Clear and concise is what I have to say. It's got to be clean and concise, and it's also good to have a kind of a storyline as you look through your portfolio.
We were talking about this last week, Brackley, on the show, and we urge everybody to go because it is a great opportunity to show your work and to meet people and to meet these amazing people.
It's a networking thing as well.
It's a networking thing. But, even if they don't have it, it doesn't have to be huge. They shouldn't bring big triptychs of pictures and things like that. Even if they only bring an iPad to show some of their work, that is very valuable. So don't make such a big thing out of it.
iPad is good. Yeah. Phones are not good. You got to have at least an iPad so we can see what we're talking about. We had one session a few years ago. Somebody brought their portfolio on a phone, and we're just looking.
Not a good move. Not a good move.
I have nice pictures.
Yeah, but it's too small.
What time and where is and when is the portfolio review?
Portfolio review is from 12 to 4 on Saturday,
tomorrow,
December 2nd.
Yes.
Saturday, December 2nd, from 12 to 4, and. So we should have. I know we're going to have a good turnout, so I'm very excited about this year. And we have a great, great diverse reviewers, which is really wonderful.
Could you name a few of the reviewers this year?
We have Ann Archibald, Jorge Ariel from BU. We have Andrea Bilkey. We have David Lee Cuthbert, who's a projection and lighting designer.
I know David.
We have Christopher Dennis, who's a projection and lighting designer. We have Kate Freer, we have Roma Flowers, we have Christina Gianelli, we have Sharon Huizinga, we have Ebony Madry. We have
are you just making this up as you go?
No, he's making these names up. I never heard of these people.
Ebony Madry is here, Ann McMills, and Christy Roldan from Walt Disney. So it's a good group.
Okay.
Hopefully I pronounced all their names correctly.
This may be the most diverse group you've ever had.
Oh, it's pretty much. There's pretty much all women. There was two males and a lot of diversity.
That's great. I'm thinking diversity also across the country. There's a lot of people from all over the place there.
One section. East Coast, West Coast,
And Texas. You got a good Texas contingent there.
Well, that Texas, yeah, okay. Texas is there too.
East Coast, West Coast, and Texas.
East Coast, and of course, Texas.
Can I show my portfolio? Because I like to meet some of these people.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about portfolios is Erda is doing an item on Sunday, I believe, where they've invited a number of students to have a table with their portfolios on it. They'll be on the show floor. Last year they were near the Circle Bar, which David knows so well. But they're going to have tables where people can come up and look at their portfolios. So there's that sessions on Sunday.
Oh, that's a great idea. Put them on the show floor.
It's on the show floor, so I think it's all day. It's all day Sunday.
Well, that's cool. And our show is 4:00 on Sunday.
Oh, is it 4? Is that when I have to be there?
Yes, you have to be there.
An hour before happy hour.
Preferably a few minutes before 4 to make sure everybody sets up.
I'll be there 3:59.
There you go. That'll help. That's good.
I remember last year I had to go early and we had to get chairs and we had to set up the room.
Yes, thank God you came early because I thought there were plenty of chairs. And Brackley walks in and he says, there aren't enough chairs. I said, are you kidding me? What are you expecting? He goes, I don't know, but a lot more people than this. And we asked for more chairs. They brought in about 25 more chairs, and now we're filled up. I mean, you're right. We needed more chairs, so I hope it's a larger room. So there you go.
That's how LDI is. Brackley walks around, makes an observation, and people start jumping.
That's right.
He points, and they all go.
Yeah. All right. Desperate in Thailand writes, I am in big trouble. I arrived here yesterday to cue my show, and Air France lost my luggage. The problem is that I am blind as a bat, and in my bags are my eyeglasses and contact lenses. I was wearing a pair of contacts when I got off the plane, but I accidentally dropped them in the toilet when I went to bed last night. I miraculously made my way to the theater this morning, but I can't see anything. I am trying not to let on that I can't see the stage, but I think the programmer became suspicious when I asked him to sharpen the edge of the beam, which apparently was already pretty sharp. All I can see are blobs of light. My assistant does not speak English, so he is absolutely no help to me. The nearest optometrist cannot see me for 3 days. How do I fake my way through this mess? Wow.
Wow, good luck.
Good luck on that one.
Oh, man, I got an easy answer for this one. Easy.
What's that?
You go to a tailor, get yourself a black beret and a cape made, hold your cigarette backwards, and just say it's art. It's art. Anytime someone complains about your crappy design.
You know, my answer is sort of the same. I suggest that he moves the production table closer to the stage, like in the first row, and just tell them that you prefer to feel the energy from the actors. They may think you're just an eccentric artist and not a blind dimwit. But I think this brings up a good point, and that is international travel tips. And I know, Steve, you've traveled internationally. Brackley, I'm sure you've done some international travel as well.
Yeah, I did a show in Greece.
And I have a few tips for traveling internationally. Okay, and this is really, really legit here because this is important. I learned some of this actually from Gilbert because Gilbert did a lot of travel. And okay, first of all, about your contact lenses. Always keep spare contact lenses, your glasses, and things like that with you at all times. At least in a carry-on.
Ship a pair ahead of time so you have it at the venue when you arrive.
You could do that. But, I always have a carry-on and I have a computer bag. And I have spares in my carry-on. I always keep spares in my computer bag because I'm not going to bring a carry-on to the theater with me. So if something happens and one of the contacts dries out, I have spare lenses with me. So that's really important. Whenever you have vision issues, then you should always have corrective lenses because your eyes are everything. They really are. Other things that you should keep with you when you travel internationally, your passport. Always carry your passport with you. Don't leave it in the hotel. Don't leave it at the flat. Don't put it in a safe. You should have your passport with you, in a very safe place. Any possible medications that you may need, including like Ambien and other sleep meds, because when you travel internationally, some people are very affected by jet lag. I'm one of them. And matter of fact, I don't want to sell drugs to anybody or say one drug is better than the other because everybody reacts to drugs differently. But Ambien saved my career. It really did. At least 3 days of clothes. deodorant, a roll of toilet paper, a backup. This is really important too. A backup disk of all your files on your computer. Just bring a backup hard drive, like an external hard drive with your entire computer on it, because your computer could be stolen. And if your computer's stolen, or if you drop that in the toilet, you can go to an Apple store. I don't know if there's one in Thailand, but you go to an Apple store, get a new computer, and just have it read off the backup, and you've got your entire computer there. And then, with Apple, this is an interesting, I know people know this, but you have 2 weeks to return a computer for Apple. So if you want to buy a computer, you can have it for 2 weeks, do whatever you want with it, and then just return it and get all your money back. So 2 weeks is plenty of time. I'm not saying you should do this, but this is what I do. Okay. Also, your work visa. If you're like in a place like Italy and you have to get a work visa, make sure your work visa is with you and at least up to date and at least $100 in cash in the local currency.
And don't change your contacts in the bathroom.
Well, I've done this before. I've dropped my contacts in the toilet, but there was at home, right? Because sometimes you just throw the water out, but you didn't realize that in that case was also your contact lenses. And then all of a sudden you see it in slow motion going right into the toilet. Not a good thing. All right. And try not to check any bags because it seems like lost baggage. Lori and I have been trying to get reimbursement for our lost baggage that Air France lost back in April when we were in Prague, right? So it's been like this 9-month odyssey trying to get some satisfaction from Air France. They will lose your bags. Let me tell you, your bags will be lost. So make sure you always bring a carry-on with at least 3 days of clothes, because they will lose your bags. They'll probably send them to Dubai instead of Thailand, and you may never see your bags again. So that's my advice. Guys, you have any other?
All good. They're all good.
Oh, good. I don't know how he's going to fake his way out of this one, man. But I think, just like Steve said, you're an artist, right? You're an artist. Don't worry about it.
You are listening to Light Talk with the Lumen Brothers, and Light Talk is sponsored by
the cheeky rigger of Sheffield. Well, the call finally ended. It's 2 a.m. and you are beat. You can barely keep your eyes open, and now it's time for the commute home. But can you even keep those eyes open during your train ride? What if you fall asleep and miss your stop? You could wake up in New Rochelle. Worse still, you're a drooler. The cheeky rigger of Sheffield says no more. Introducing the Dozy-Plunger Cap. That's right, the Dozy-Plunger Cap, complete with an adjustable handle toilet plunger screwed onto the rear of the cap. Step 1, stick your hat and plunger on the wall behind your seat on the train. Step 2, place your head into the cap and adjust the chin strap. Your head now stays upright, making it easy to nap. Step 3, go ahead and fall asleep. The Dozy-Plunger Cap also has a Velcro patch plate on the front and comes with 3 dry erase markable patches. 1 for your morning workplace stop, a second for your nightly commute home, and a third for errands. So when you do fall asleep, a kindly passenger can wake you up with a poke and a gentle, "Here's your stop, buddy." Order now and we'll toss in a Velcro IATSE Local 1 patch and a handle extension for the plunger for those awkward moments at McDonald's. But wait, what about your drooling problem? We got you covered with the big saliva bib. It looks like you just ran out of the barbershop, but that's all right. You're already wearing a plunger hat. It can't get any worse than that. Besides, it comes in hipster black raw denim, so no one will even notice you're wearing it. The cheeky rigger of Sheffield. We make underwear, too.
And now, back to Light Talk.
Well, speaking of hipsters, The sound of those lovable hipster monkeys jumping all around the lobby of Light Talk Central means that once again it's time for Let's Talk About. And today's Let's Talk About is all about the demise of tenure track lines. Professors of practice. Is this now the norm?
We hear taps in the background.
Boy, I'm glad I'm retiring. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. I'm retiring before they end my program, and you have no protection whatsoever. Because when you're tenure tracked and they cut your program, you are done. They can fire you so fast. So I timed it out absolutely perfect.
What's happening out in California? Do you get a sense out there? I mean, the state's always kind of leading the charge. Are you getting a sense that in California, tenure track lines are disappearing?
Yes.
Okay, that was easy. Yes.
It's that simple. I mean, they're not renewing lines. I mean, they're not renewing my line. And they haven't renewed the costume designer's line when she retired. They're doing more with fewer, and the fewer are eventually not going to be tenured. These people have tenure track lines, okay? But they're trying to hire outside the university with, as you guys know, professors of practice, or even worse, just part-time lecturers.
PTIs. Yeah, I'm finding that out too. I do these reviews for IRTA, and I'm just finding out that more and more colleges these days are going with the professor of practice or clinical professor, as opposed to a tenure track line.
Does IRTA have an official position on that?
Nope.
Really?
Not really.
That's interesting. I would think that IRTA would make a stand. It would be nice to get some support. And I think that, unfortunately, this is pretty much what's happening. It's times are changing.
It feels like some of those tenured lines in the arts might be moving to the sciences. And over in arts world, adjunct
or humanities.
Visiting professor of practice. Yeah, humanities the same way. They're going a very different route.
Well, this has been going on for a long time. We see more of our tenure track lines being lost and redistributed or just completely terminated. And that is a real problem. And I think that we may be the last generation of the system. And maybe it's for the best. I don't know.
Well, it's so they can save money, that's for sure.
It works both ways. Yeah. It's like if you do a professor of practice, that means they can't fire you or not renew or not give you tenure because you haven't been spending enough time at the school. It works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
How does it save them money, Brackley? Or where are you?
Because they, I believe it depends on what the salary is, but sometimes the salaries on a professor of practice aren't as high as the other ones.
But they still have retirement benefits, and at least at SMU, they still have retirement benefits. They still have medical benefits. So it comes down to where the salary is and what the
whole package is.
Yeah, is there room for salary increase? What have you guys seen as far as contracts? I've seen it as low as 2 years for a professor of practice, and as high as 5 years.
I think, I may have seen 1 year, but okay. I don't think I've seen anything like 5 years. I think it just depends on the institution.
Yeah, I think if you're in Chicago or New York or LA, it might be different. I think for a lot of schools, and I pick those three areas because there is an abundance of talent, both design, acting, and directing in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if you are in a school, well, we'll say Texas, and you're not in a major market, the pool is pretty shallow if you're hoping to get a local hire in there.
I think about, Cal Arts has handled this over the past 20, 30 years because Cal Arts has had a very small group of professors who were full-time and got paid appropriately, and then a bunch of guest people come in. And these are really high-profile designers, but they would come 1 day a week. And I'm not talking about Lap, because Lap was did the undergraduate where he was there all the time. I'm talking about the designers who dealt with mostly the graduate students. And I know that Ann does a great job. She spends a lot of time at Cal Arts because that's when Ann was hired, that's when the students were really revolting about this. And they wanted someone like Ann, and she's done a great job. And I don't know what her contract situation is. It's really none of my business. But she's a fantastic mentor. And she's like the best of both worlds. But before that, this is how they dealt with it. So they didn't have really tenure track. I mean, there was a time when they were recruiting me to go to CalArts, and I was talking contracts with them. And it was one of those situations where you just say, okay, well, it's like a 2-year or 3-year contract. And so what? So it's not tenure, big deal, But when you're early on in your career, it's kind of important to have that security.
You want to have some security.
That's right. And I think this, what we shall see, I think the entire graduate design education system is changing. And I think that there may be a time when universities are kind of a thing of the past, because you're seeing these universities sort of falling into the idea of, okay, we're going to have a graduate design program so we don't have to pay designers and we don't have to, pay, we can have people work in the shops and all that. And that's something I've been railing against, for 30 years now. I think all this is going to start disappearing. We're seeing it already. I mean, Stan told us last week that one of his former schools that he taught at, they just killed their entire program. And the 4 tenured professors that are there are basically gotten there and noticed, we don't need you anymore. And you're not protected because we killed your program.
It's the thing of the future, I think.
It's happening now. It's not even the future. It's just going to be, this is going to be now.
So what are the pros? If you're looking at professor of practice, why would I want to be a professor of practice? What are the pros?
You get to do more outside gigs and not have to worry about building up a tenure file.
That's right. You don't have to build up a stupid tenure file. Exactly. And you don't have to do all that service. I didn't say the word stupid. I did.
I know.
I think that you don't have to serve on so many committees. I'm sure all that's going to be spelled out in the in their contracts, but still, you have a bargaining chip. I think the destruction of unions in the academia is a real problem. It's a very big problem. I served on the academic senate for, like 20 years. And it was, thank God we have a good union here. But there are certain things that even a union can't handle. And this is basically what's happening. So yeah, that's the advantage, Steve, that you basically say, hey, until you give me security, I'm not going to be spending every day for 9 months here because I have to do my work.
And the disadvantage is that the students don't get the mentorship necessarily that they need.
That's a huge disadvantage. Because I took that really seriously, and I didn't do a lot of work when I was a full-time professor. Now I'm ending. In 3 weeks, I am done. I am officially retired and done. And when I was full-time, because right now I'm working half-time, I was there. I turned on a lot of shows.
The contact hours were huge.
Yeah, huge. And it always is for professors who are mentoring students in the theater, because that's laboratory time. This is where people just don't understand that the theaters are laboratories. And
just
they
like
need
the physics laboratory and the chemistry laboratory.
And you know something? Those professors get paid to be in that laboratory. But we don't. It's expected of us to be there. And expected of us to be there all weekend and all that bullshit. That's ridiculous.
Right, for every show.
Yeah, exactly. So it's important that we're there, but we need to get credit for being there. That means we need to get a class or 2 classes or whatever it is. There's this big argument, fight that's been going on in my department about this. It's been going on forever, that we used to get like 3 credits a semester to be there to mentor our students in the laboratory. But now they want to cut that down to 3 credits a year. Where does that come from?
How big a learn?
That's a problem, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen because the bargaining positions have changed. The power structure has changed. So, like I said, I'm going to miss it, but I'm not going to miss it in a lot of ways.
Party at David's house.
Party at my house. That's right. Well, Steve has the last question of the day.
Okay, this comes from Alan all the way down in Georgia, and he wants to know, what shows should I see in Vegas? All right, this is an easy one. I'm not going to buy your ticket, but you can look for me there. I'm going to go to the Sphere and I'm going to do that immersive film thing for $69. And also, if you haven't, I would go see a magic show. And personally, I would go see Penn and Teller. But
there's a number of them here. There's David Copperfield. There's Matt King.
Copperfield's great.
There's a million of magic shows here.
Yeah. I love David Copperfield. I went to see, I want to see the Penn and Teller show too, because they are extremely entertaining. But as far as magic is concerned, Copperfield, it's hard to beat that stuff. It really is. Terry Harper, who's a good friend of mine, he used to be David Copperfield's road tech manager. So he knows all the tricks.
The ins and outs.
So
that's why you go see Penn and Teller. They do the trick. They explain to you how they did it.
Yep.
And then they do it again, and you still can't catch them doing it.
Well, I agree with you, Steve, on both your suggestions, but I'm going to add another one. I think any Cirque show, you should see
I was just going to say, any Cirque du Soleil show, they're just unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I've seen Love 4 times. 4 times. Definitely the best sound, the best music, the best production, I think, is Love overall.
I like O. O was the first one I saw, and now I still, for some reason, O kind of always speaks to me somehow.
Well, Brackley, I must agree with you that O is absolutely spectacular. If you're going for pure theatrical effects, O is it, right? O is it, because there's an effect that happens at the beginning of that show and at the end of that show that you just have no idea how they do. And I found out because a friend of mine worked on that show, and I got him drunk one night, and he told me the tricks. I can tell you who it was, but I got him really drunk because he refused to do it. And then one night he couldn't resist.
But you have all that water and everything, and
the water and the staging.
Ka is incredible too. I mean, just the magnitude of Ka. But with all the things that are in the air with Ka, my favorite part of the show is they have one light in the beginning. They do a little shadow puppet. I've turned all the other lights out. There's just one light in the front with them doing a simple shadow puppet, which I think is great. You
know what my friend told me? Because I asked him how they did this one effect. And he said, imagine doing this in a model. Like you have a model that's like in 1/4-inch scale. And how would you do this effect if you want to show it in a model? And that's how they do the effect. You know what I mean? It's like what you just said, Brackley, like this one light, right? It's really simple, but it's in a massive scale, which requires this amazing technology to pull it off. But the idea, it's very simple. They think very simple circus solutions. But you just sit there and you say, okay, that had to cost like $5 million.
Outside Caesar's Palace, they have Absinthe, which is a great kind of it's a tent circus show, which is kind of amazing. Tons of things to do here, tons of things to see. You can't see it all in one LDI show.
I'm just really excited to see the Sphere, to tell you the truth.
Yep. The outside of the Sphere is just phenomenal. I mean, to drive by. It was funny when they had the F1. The F1 racetrack went right around the Sphere, and they had the whole eyes going from one side of the Sphere to the other. That's kind of
funny. I'm surprised there were no accidents. People being, hey, look, it's the Sphere, boom.
Well, there are. It stops traffic in various places around the city.
I'm sure it does. All right, guys. Well, listen, let's get out of the pool. It's time to dry out, and it's time to get ready for the show tomorrow. So you guys ready for this? We're going to party down. Come to Light Talk, which is Sunday in 2 days at 4 o'clock.
It's Sunday at 4, right? Sunday at 4?
Sunday at 4 o'clock is Light Talk live.
3:45 for you, young man.
Yes,
I'll be there at 3:59.
There you go. And we hope to see you all there. We're going to have a lot of fun. We have a lot of swag to give out. It's always a lot of fun. It's good to see.
Are the Fezzes coming back?
It's a surprise. We got a surprise this year.
Oh, surprise,
we're not letting anything out. Snoot is going to make an appearance. I think Pam is going to be there as well. And Brackley, does your wife ever come and see you?
No.
Yeah, because she's always like doing other things. Yeah, I noticed that. I don't think have I ever
Some
met
of us
your
who
wife?
live here don't want to drive down every day to do that.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see Brackley, and Steve will be there.
And McMills.
No, Ann can't make it. She caught the killer cold that I had earlier this week. So we hope you're feeling better soon, Ann. And Zach will be there.
Is Ellen coming?
Yes, Ellen will be there. Wow, this is going to be so exciting. She's going to be on the panel. She's going to be with us on Sunday.
And you have episode 6 of Bobby Danger, Disaster on the Rails.
Disaster on the rails. I can't wait. Well, the rocking sounds of the Luminoids tell us that once again you've spent another morning listening to Light Talk. You can hear our show on just about every podcast site out there. Check out our website at lighttalk.org and be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our podcast. That way you will not miss a second of Light Talk insanity.
No guarantee is offered regarding the accuracy of any statements or opinions made on this podcast. However,
if you do decide to litigate, the Snoot Group, with a legal team of Sparks, Burnout, and Chase, will defend us until our retirement funds are depleted.
Light Talk is written and produced by the Lumen Brothers, coming to you from Long Beach, Las Vegas, and the Republic of Texas.
And be sure to join us on Sunday when we talk about more lighting shenanigans and serve you more of our special casserole of nonsense. That's what we're bringing, our casserole of nonsense.
Light Talk, broadcasting unquestionable Lumen knowledge and humor around the world.
Knowledge. Well, we'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye from Light Talk.